Right now on Denver 7 News at 8 a.m. on Local 3, we continue to stay on top of this weather action day as heavy snow brought down tree limbs, some on top of cars, and it has created a messy morning commute on the roads. We have team coverage just ahead.
Also, hateful messages left on a Denver apartment complex. We're working to get answers about the cleanup.
And hundreds more flights have been canceled in and out of Denver today. How competing airlines are now helping clear the Southwest backlog. My parents barely got out yesterday on Southwest. They did have a flight, and they got out just before the snow hit.
Yeah, because the snow is probably not making things any easier out there now.
Already checked in. They are safe at home this morning. But the snow here has cleared, although it's still hanging around, literally weighing down some trees and making for a messy commute. So we've got you covered this morning.
Lisa, we're looking ahead to another storm coming our way as well.
Yeah, just a few days off. We're going to pick up more snow in the mountains, heavier snow again by Saturday, and then here in town by Sunday. Right now, though, look at the most recent snowfall totals overnight. What a fast-moving storm. First from heavy rain showers in December, not common, to some heavy snow. Wheat Ridge 10 inches, Boulder 10, and officially out at the airport just over 7 inches. Now, all that snow is starting to shift off to the east. We're already seeing some clearing skies here in town. Sunshine expected here through the afternoon. We're in the 20s right now. We'll see about a 10-degree warm up, getting into the mid to upper 30s. So you're going to find even more melting over the next few hours. Mid to upper 30s between about 2 and 4 o'clock. And then it looks like tomorrow will be a good 4 or 5 degrees warmer. In the mountains today, you'll find some teens, 20s, and still a few areas of light snow. Quick look at our Super 7-day. Tomorrow, closer to 40, a little warmer New Year's Eve, and then that chance for more rain switching over to snow, Jason, on Sunday.
It has been a rough ride for a lot of us. Now, the conditions continue to improve, so you're looking at more slush now, and the drive will get better as the day goes on, but right now, we still have some issues. But I-70, the good news I can report is I-70 is open on the eastern plains between Aurora and Kansas, but we're not quite open yet, it looks like. I have seen some traffic moving on southbound 285 from C470 up here to Tiny Town, Parmalee Gulch, over here to Indian Hills, but still looking at a restriction on that drive as well. Take a look at the double cameras across downtown. Unfortunately, can't quite see it. There's a crash, big one right here at 38th on southbound I-25, blocking up the right side of the highway, and the other one is northbound I-25 here at 58th under the bridge there, blocking up the center part of the highway. So even though it looks wet, still a lot of ice and snow in there, and it's still going to be quite the slick conditions for you. Looking at about double the commute time, speeds dropping down to the 20s, and teens now coming down from Parker Road, where we've had a whole bunch of problems. In and around of Castle Rock, really not that bad, but transitioning from, let's say, the main lanes of an interstate onto the side roads, there's still a lot of snow that's been plowed to those areas and makes it very tricky trying to get through those big humps of snow for you here this morning. Getting to or from the airport, it's actually not too bad for us right now on Pena Boulevard, mostly just wet.
All right, Jason, thank you. Power outages continue to be a problem. Taking a look at Excel's outage map, this has grown again. 5,800 customers are now without power as crews work to restore that. Of course, we saw that heavy wet snow weighing down trees, and some of those branches fell on power lines. There have been some problems all morning long with that.
Yeah, we saw it get better, and now it's gotten worse this morning. Of course, you can blame this heavy, wet snow for knocking down the trees, and that has certainly affected power in many areas. It's also created a messy commute on the roads. Maybe the sun is breaking up some of that slush a little bit. Denver 7's Danny New is giving us a view of I-25 south of the metro in Castle Rock. Danny, how's it looking?
Well, the sun's in my face. Can you tell? The sun has risen. And we've seen a lot of cars that are stuck on the road. There might be one up here, honestly, if you look that way, because there's just been a lot of snow buildup. Like, it's been plowed. It's clear in the parts where they've plowed, but then, like, you know, the snow will spill out. Like you mentioned, it's heavy and it's wet, and then cars will be stuck. So there's one car. We had to get out and help push Toyota Camry. Those guys are trying to push right now. So, yeah, this one Toyota Camry was stuck. We had to, like, rock a little bit, dig out the snow from under the tires. So yeah, we were just on I-25 south for a bit. North looked pretty backed up, and honestly the hardest part about driving the highway, because the highways are better plowed and in better conditions than the roads, but it's pretty hard to switch lanes. There's a lot of like slush and snow in the way, and then as Jason's been mentioning all morning, it's been a lot harder to get off the highway because there's more snow kind of on the road in those ramps. And we've seen a couple cars. We even saw an 18-wheeler that was stuck on the side of the road in the snow. So there's just been a lot of buildup of this heavy, wet snow that's been causing cars to get stuck. Whereas like now you can see like the sun's out, the roads look a little better. There's just kind of like deposits of snow, and there's that car again. They're still trying to dig out. And we're going to get back onto I-25 north now, where we've seen a lot of cars driving pretty slow, trying to change lanes and whatnot. So we're going to keep monitoring this. We're going to head up I-25 north and see how it's looking closer to Denver, because we've been in Parker for most of the morning, and then we'll check back in with you guys in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Danny, taking those turns extra slow this morning. If you do see the plows, if you're out and about today, we want to remind you not to pass a plow on the right. Of course, the plows are designed to push all that snow and slush off to the right, so avoid that side. Also, don't tailgate, because they could be dropping liquid de-icer or sand behind them, and it is illegal to pass plows that are working in formation. You could get a $100 ticket. Even 2 plows is considered working in a tandem formation. Meanwhile, in Buffalo, New York, people are still trying to dig out from last week's historic storm. The city says 38 people have died from the snow and freezing temperatures, and that number could rise in the coming days. However, the city is getting more mobile today. The driving ban has been lifted. That frees up drivers to dig their cars that have been buried under feet of snow for days now. And the power is back on for many, but the National Guard is still making door-to-door wellness checks.
I really can't use words to explain how bad it was.
We are fearful that there are individuals who may have perished.
Buffalo is now preparing for another weather event, possible flooding due to rising temperatures, the melting snow and rain in the forecast. A reminder, you can stay ahead of our weather by downloading the Denver 7 app to your phone. You can scan the QR code on your screen to do that. Or you can search Denver 7 on your app store. When winter weather hits, we will send an alert to your phone so you're prepared for whatever the day brings.
This storm could make an already bad situation at DIA even worse for those who have tried to rebook canceled flights in the last week. Right now, there are another 291 canceled flights today, and almost all of them, 272, are Southwest Airlines. Southwest passengers whose travel plans were derailed in this past week can now submit refund requests for lodging, food, or any alternative transportation that they had to arrange. You can go to the website on your screen for that, southwest.com/travel disruption. Our ABC affiliate in Dallas crunched the numbers for one family who was trying to get back to Texas from the East Coast. 3 days of food, hotels, and transportation cost them $2,000 out of pocket. That was one family. So you can imagine how expensive this is going to get for Southwest. After Southwest canceled more than 5,000 flights between Tuesday and Wednesday, some of the affected passengers found that other airlines were posting last-minute flights to their destinations, but they were thousands of dollars. To make matters worse, Southwest does not have agreements with other carriers that would allow passengers to rebook on different airlines. But United and American Airlines have now said that they will place price caps on flights to and from select cities to try to help out passengers. The price caps will vary by location.
A Denver family came back from a Hanukkah celebration last week to this on their door. The word die was actually written on dozens of doors up and down the apartment building at the Mint Urban Infinity Complex. Even on the elevator was a swastika. We spoke to a resident who says she feels like management isn't working quickly enough to remove these hateful messages.
Take it seriously. Take it seriously. Like, we're Jewish, you know? The swastika hits home. It hits a spot. And also the KKK on the door up there.
We should mention police did arrest the person responsible for the graffiti. A new property management company recently took over that apartment complex. We reached out to them last night, but have not heard back. Well, tomorrow we will mark 1 year since the devastating Marshall Fire tore through Boulder County, changing forever the lives of thousands of people in Louisville and Superior. It is the most destructive wildfire in Colorado history. $145 million was allocated to put wildfire mitigation and prevention projects into place following it. Governor Polis is now honoring the anniversary, saying, quote, "I want to thank all of those who worked to support the affected community over the last year. The incredible support from so many across the state made me proud to be a Coloradan." As we reflect on the devastation this fire caused and look towards the future, my administration is committed to continuing to help communities rebuild stronger. We will have a special show tomorrow live from Superior to mark this important day. Our coverage will start at 4:30.
Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser is forming a task force to coordinate law enforcement efforts statewide to crack down on organized retail thefts. There's a growing trend of groups stealing $100,000 or more worth of merchandise from stores. The state legislature approved a law targeting the online marketplaces where stolen goods are sold. They will be required to collect business tax IDs and bank account numbers for sellers. A letter from the Environmental Protection Agency, now being released publicly, details the agency's investigation into whether Colorado's regulation of air pollution discriminates against minority residents. Federal investigators are scrutinizing the state's oversight of Colorado's biggest polluters, including the Suncor oil refinery in North Denver. Colorado leaders say they welcome the EPA's review. The race is on to save thousands of documents in our state archives. What workers are having to do right now to preserve some of this history after it was affected by flooding.
And with hundreds of new migrants arriving in Denver, the Supreme Court is leaving a key border policy in place for now. Why it could take months for a final decision to be made, and we'll look at the moves the Biden administration is taking action before then.